Welcome back to the Bellringers podcast, where we talk all things sports
betting,
and sprinkle a little bit of pop culture here and there. My name is Tyler Press.
And I'm Ryan McDonald.
And we got some NBA playoffs, some NHL playoff news. The NFL draft starts tomorrow.
Yes. Some more depressing Phillies news.
Yeah, Phillies still slumping.
And then more Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us episode 2. I guess to get ahead of it, we do apologize about the last week's episode only being audio, so only on Spotify. We went back, and when we went to the editing screen, the whole video was in slow motion, but the audio was normal, so there was
Didn't
nothing.
make any sense.
Yeah, no clue how it happened. We didn't catch it before we sent the video to the editor, so
Wouldn't have mattered anyway.
no, we would have had
Once it was recorded, it was done.
Yeah, we would have had to redo it anyway. It was Easter weekend, so we couldn't reschedule or try to re-record. But
I wouldn't have done it anyway.
all right, Ryan. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
I see the dedication is thriving in the group.
It's hard
here.
to get the genuine, it takes out.
I know. We could at least made some clips, though.
Yeah, the clips I would have done. But
So, moving on to this week, we checked the video. Everything's going to go well this time. Sorry again.
should be. I don't know what was wrong. I don't know what happened with Streamlabs last week. It just didn't work. But as always, please follow us on social media at BellringersPod on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and then subscribe at youtube.com/thebellringerspod. Subscribe. Like most of the time, we have the video out on YouTube, the whole thing. Follow us on Spotify. This way, you make sure you always get it at BellringersPod. We're gonna go back through and do our recap our drafts from last week because we had 3. It was I had set up 3 drafts. Thought it was gonna be a good one for a bunch of clips, and then all got ruined.
For all of our videos to lose the video for, we had like 5 clips worthy of content, and honestly, the one I'm most upset about is our Last of Us episode 1 breakdown because I feel like we really went off on Ellie and the episode as a whole. We will redo our normal draft that we do at the end of each episode. We'll redo that one. And we also drafted NBA teams
and MLB teams. We did not do NHL teams. I guess
we could do that now.
Could do that now, yeah.
But we got a little bit of the playoffs going. But
do you have your drafts ready?
Yes. We want to start with what, NBA?
Yeah, we can start with NBA. So recapping our NBA playoffs draft, I started off with actually I don't know who started off, but either way, I took Oklahoma City Thunder, Cleveland Cavaliers, Denver Nuggets, and the Houston Rockets.
Right.
At least one of those teams is looking good so far.
Recapping my picks, I had the Los Angeles Lakers for my first pick. I then got the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, and the Indianapolis Pacers.
There you go. All right. Now, recapping our MLB draft, I have the Dodgers, the San Diego Padres, the Detroit Tigers, and the Boston Red Sox.
And my picks were I had the New York Yankees, the Texas Rangers, I had the Chicago Cubs, and the San Francisco Giants.
And then now recapping our best movies or TV shows we've never seen draft.
It's so funny for people just listening to the first episode because we're just a podcast of drafts, right?
I have The Wire, Ocean's 11, Titanic, and Schindler's List.
My picks for shows and movies that I've never seen, I have Sopranos, I got Godfather, The Godfather, I apologize. I got Kill Bill, and I ended it with How I Met Your Mother. Never saw a single episode.
Now into the actual podcast.
Welcome back.
We do also have another draft this week.
Yes.
All right, starting with the MLB, I just unfortunately on my drive over here I guess I didn't see. I wasn't watching. I was driving, so I was listening on the radio.
Good on you, right?
Yep, making sure everyone knows I'm safe. The Phillies lost yet again. We get swept by the Mets, who are now the best team in baseball.
All of a sudden.
Still upsetting.
Yep. Yeah, Mets look great, honestly. Phillies.
A lot of it's our bullpen is absolute dog shit. Nola has been not great, but if you look at his 5 starts, he does have 5 losses. But in those 5 starts, he has a total of 5 runs while he's been pitching.
Wow.
So that doesn't really help either.
Oh, you mean we've scored 5 runs?
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
So that doesn't really help.
Doesn't help, but he's let up a fair bit of runs as well.
Yeah, but I think some of those could have been wins if we got any run support.
Right.
But looking at it, I mean, other than him, most of our starting rotation has been pretty good. I mean, Ty Walker, I think he had a little bit of a struggle his last start, but it's still decent ERA. But our bullpen is the second worst bullpen in all of the MLB in terms of ERA with a 5.7. But, I mean, it's not at fault of Strahm, Alvarado, and Tanner Banks. Tanner Banks not really doing the greatest, but he's still with a 3.38 ERA. But Strahm and Alvarado, both below 3, doing really good. But then we have Romano, who absolutely fucking dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
you get him off the team. You got to get rid of him. He's at like a 15-something ERA. Lost another save opportunity today against the Mets.
After being at a game 2 and him getting like that, like the ovation and like that big entrance that they gave him like the Kingery, or what was not Kingery. Who was the
Kimbrel?
Kimbrel, yeah. They gave like he gets the Kimbrel entrance, and
Alvarado is a cool one too now.
But like it's so frustrating when like ninth inning comes, lights start flickering, like intense music comes on, and then like I remember the Dodgers game, the one that JT ended up throwing the guy out to end the game. I think all of our pitchers shut them out the entire game. He came in and like let up a home run and like let up like 2 hits, and then eventually I think he ended the game. That game ended with a strikeout and JT throwing him out. It was immediate. Like he came in, started the game, and then like hit.
Yeah,
like, it was just brutal.
Well, even let me see where I can go back. When we played the Marlins pretty recently, we were up 11-4, and I think he let up 6 runs in the top of the ninth to allow the Marlins to get within 1 run.
Yeah,
it's like what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. He's just been absolutely terrible. I mean, it's not going to help the bullpen unless he goes to the bullpen or we move someone from the starting line to the bullpen. But Ranger Suarez did have a rehab assignment with the Iron Pigs last night. Pitched pretty well. 5 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 Ks on just under 60 pitches. Maybe the starters can maybe go a little bit, couple more innings with the fact that rotation might be longer. But I gotta imagine one of these guys is going to get moved to the bullpen or move down to Lehigh Valley.
Iron Pigs.
Yeah, but we definitely need some more bullpen help badly.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what we get, I guess, from losing Hoffman, letting him walk in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough to watch, honestly. Like, what are we sitting at? 13-2 right now.
13-12.
13-12. I'm sorry.
13-2 would be great.
13-2 would be a great start, but we're second in the NL East behind the Mets, which Mets are already up 18-7. I think they're the best record in the MLB right now.
Yep.
So it's not a good start, obviously, when you're in the same division with someone like the Mets, the way the Mets are playing right now. I don't know. Like, there's looking at the overall standings right now. Yeah, we're probably like 7th right now. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, we're pretty low. The NL West is insane.
Yeah, no,
that's nuts.
They've been one of the best in the.
I was just looking at my Giants team. I'm like, oh, I'm 15-9. I'm like, I'm in 3rd place in the West still. Like, Jesus.
That's what I mean. It might end up being, winning the division might end up being pretty important here in terms of getting a spot in the playoffs in itself. Not far off. Like I said, at least, I'd rather be the bullpen than the bats, to be honest. But at the same time, I also want the bullpen to play at least some a little well. Because I feel like last year our bullpen was disgusting, and, we'd go out there and guy after guy after guy would let up no runs, no hits, or just get strikeouts.
And we still lose, yeah, but because our team's not hitting.
Yeah.
It's honestly, both can be very frustrating. I feel like the reason it's better that the bullpen is struggling than it is that your batting is struggling, and this is going to sound a little selfish, but like in the means of going to a game, if the bats are struggling, it's a really hard watch. But if your guys are hitting and you're scoring runs and your pitching is just letting up runs, at least you're getting an intense game.
Yeah.
So like I guess it's neither are good, but you're getting a better show, I guess, from your bullpen sucking more than your batting.
Well, that night, our batting doing well. We have 9 guys or whatever that can bat. So, all right, those 9 guys pretty much are doing pretty okay, other than maybe 1 or 2 during a little bit of period of time. Mm-hmm. Bullpen, so you'd rather have that amount of guys play well, whereas the bullpen, there's 4 guys right now that stink.
Yeah.
So it's almost a little bit easier to fix. You just got to get those 4 guys to play better, or just get 4 new guys.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's hard to fix a whole team, whereas compared to 4 guys, they could just be in a slump right now compared to a whole team being in a slump.
Yeah. But there's the Phillies update for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the NBA. Most of these series, I think, have just been 1 game played so far. We got Cavs up 1-0. Didn't really get to see that game. Celtics up 1-0 against the Magic, and apparently Jason Tatum might be out for tonight.
Ooh,
against the Magic.
But good for us.
I think Embiid would have played, just a wrist.
Yeah, honestly, Embiid doesn't go out in the playoffs.
No, never, ever. Knicks and the Pistons tied at 1-1, and Detroit gets their first playoff victory since 2008.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
Wait, did you say the Knicks get their first?
No, Pistons.
Pistons. Okay, I thought you said Knicks. Okay, yeah, that is a pretty crazy stat. I remember I saw it was like I said, Pistons are not. It's not a familiar territory. and there's a clip of them in like a pregame, and they're like goofing off, having a good time. They're like, you'd think this team would be a lot more stressed out, but they're just having a great time. Like, it was like the most carefree like warm ups I've ever seen.
Well, it's a bunch of young kids too. I mean,
Yeah.
Cade's young, but I mean, those Piston teams back in the early 2000s were pretty dominant teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's not like necessarily like they've never been here like the Hornets or whatever, where like Charlotte's never really been in their whole like tenure of being in Charlotte. It's never been a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Pacers are up 2-0 on the 2-0 on the Bucks as they struggle to keep going. I mean, when you only got two players really, in Giannis and Dame. I think Dame should be coming back.
I was gonna say Dame hasn't even been playing either.
I know he didn't play game 1. I can't remember if he played game 2 or not, but I'm pretty sure. I think he's coming back. He's gotten cleared to play at least.
Okay.
They go back to Milwaukee though, and then I mean the Thunder just handling the Grizzlies.
Dude.
Grizzlies work. Let's see. I know the first game was 131-80, so they beat them by 51 points.
Yeah.
It's just absurd. But this is kind of what we've seen from the Thunder all season, as they had by far the best record, and probably could have gone up there in terms of winning way more games if they actually wanted to try at the end of the season. Golden State stole the first game from the Rockets. LA Lakers have traded games with the Timberwolves. They lost game 1, winning game 2. And then my favorite series of the week so far has been the Nuggets Clippers, tied 1-1. Kawhi is a pretty good player. He's a pretty good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
I might have forgot a little while.
Yeah.
With him being out for like 4 years, I kind of forgot how good he was in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can never forget what he did to us.
Yeah, well, I didn't forget that. I kind of forgot he was still in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with you on that sense that like I haven't heard a thing about Kawhi in a long time.
Kind of just assumed like he would have came back and would have been like, I'm kind of hurt, and just like been like almost pulling an Embiid where he could only play every other night.
Yeah,
That's
Westbrook is having a pretty crazy series too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not doing too bad. He's just been all over the floor.
Yeah.
But Kawhi was 15 of 19 the other night. Just barely missed. And then Jamal Murray did try and pick up Norm Powell mid-game. That was kind of funny. That led to a little bit of a scuffle. And it's kind of dumb because like Jamal Murray he only got a common foul. And then there was 2 Clipper players that got a technical, only 1 technical on the Nuggets. So it's kind of, me and the announcers seem to be a little confused by that because Jamal Murray definitely deserved a technical with the fact he picked a man up.
Yeah.
For no reason. I'm kind of interested to see more. I think most people are kind of waiting for the second round with most of these matchups.
Any upsets are you expecting so far?
I didn't really. I expected the Lakers to play better, at least in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they only lost 1 game so far.
I feel like the game that they won, they're up by a good amount too. Like I saw a
Yeah,
picture.
they were
83-50 something.
They were up like almost 15 plus the whole time.
Yeah.
I was on last night. I watched most of it before I fell asleep. I mean, I'm not surprised the Warriors stole game 1 from the Rockets with how young they are, but the Rockets did destroy the Warriors not that long ago in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought they might have been able to hold their own a little bit better.
Okay.
That might be one of my picks that I made incorrectly.
What's that, the Rockets?
Yeah, because it was my last pick. I was like, well, they're the 2 seed. I got it. You can't leave them there.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the NHL. Playoffs started last Saturday, which is the Saturday before Easter. The first game was the Winnipeg Jets versus St. Louis Blues. Blues had a lead early on. Jets just managed to come back and ended the game. Final score was 5-3. That was just the Jets just came back and showed their dominance over the Blues. Game 2, they won 2-1, a little bit closer. And then the second game of the series was Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche. So, I'm sorry, Winnipeg Jets are up 2-0 in the series. I was talking about the first game, but that just to give the closing statement on the Jets. They're up 2-0. The second game going in the playoffs was the Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche won the first game pretty handedly. I think it was 5-1. Yeah, I was looking at them like, all right, how do I get into this NHL playoffs? Like, I remember in the past, I just picked one team from each conference and like, I'm riding with them all the way through, and might have just been a little bit of like a bias to me because I did it with the Stars and they won me a bit of money. But I was like, I think the Stars were favored to win too. So I took the Stars. I think I was either -1.5. No, they might have been dogs. I took the Stars and I took a few different parlay picks. I don't think I got a single one other than the total. Well, no, the total didn't even hit either. So I misbet heavily, but the Colorado dominated the Stars in game 1, and then game 2. Stars came back and won in Dallas, so they're going to Colorado with a series tied 1-1.
That was especially the second game where they went to overtime. That was the other night I was laying in bed watching. It was the Clippers Nuggets game and I think I might have been the Kings Oilers game. And like that 3 box on YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Of course, I fell asleep. I think before the fourth quarter of the Clippers game, and then before overtime in this. So wanted to stay up as much as I could, but I knew as soon as I think I was like going into the fourth quarter of the Clippers game, I was like, if I watch this, it goes overtime. I'm gonna have to stay up for that. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try and just go to sleep now. But a little upset I missed the overtime for playoff hockey.
Yeah, I mean that is some amazing watch. Plus, I feel like a lot of these games have ended in fights. Like, it's been a pretty brutal playoffs, which is why I'm excited to try and dive into this playoffs a little more heavily than in the past because the Flyers haven't been making it. But just to go through, I'll go through the Eastern Conference first. Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators series. Maple Leafs are up 2-0. First game went 6-2 to Toronto. Second game went 3-2 in overtime. Tampa Bay Lightning are down 0-1 to the Panthers. Panthers won game 1 6-2. Jesus.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's brutal. Capitals and Canadians, only one game has been played. Capitals won game 1 in amazing fashion. Ovechkin scored 2 goals and had 1 assist. Yeah, 2 goals, 1 assist. I think he had 7 hits.
Yep.
And one of those goals happened to be an overtime goal, which was absolutely
Yeah, I think it was
incredible.
his first overtime goal in playoff history.
Yeah, for the number one scoring player in the entire NHL. What is he, 39 years old?
Yeah, that would have been kind of a funny trivia question too if he didn't score that, or I guess maybe there someone might be like, what year was his first playoff overtime goal?
Or yeah, like, keep an eye out for this trivia question. Alex Ovechkin, 39 years in the, not 39 years in the NHL, played in the NHL too. Is 39 is the number
he's still
one.
going.
He's still going. Yeah, I guess you're right. Is the number one leading scorer in NHL history. How many goals has he scored in the playoffs in overtime? And that answer is now 1. As of now. You never know. We could get another one in the series. So, Capitals are up 1-0. I believe they're playing game 2 tonight. Hurricanes and Devils. And the Canes are absolutely dominating.
Devils hurting themselves.
Yeah.
You have the goalie almost cup checking his teammate as he goes around.
Mm-hmm.
Goes in front of the crease.
Brutal to watch. Yeah, Devils were just injury after injury. Canes held them to 1 goal in each of the first 2 games. So, dominant performance. I already covered Jets and Stars. Next, we have the Vegas Knights against the Minnesota Wild. That series is also tied 1-1.
It's also crazy. Like the Vegas Knights are like a 5-year-old franchise, and they've been in the playoffs almost every year.
And won a championship too.
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting with the fact that we're sitting
How
here
long
with
the Flyers have had. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with expansion teams. I feel like they.
Well, they did. I think they did it correctly
hooked
this
them up
time.
a lot.
Yeah,
But-
with the way they did the draft, I think it was smart. And like I think there's 2 routes you can go with the as expansion team. You can either try and draft a young and have something to build on, or try and just draft for winning right then and hope you can sign like free agents and make trades and stuff like that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's great that they did this way because, like, if you're trying to build a fan base too, to have your new franchise make the playoffs constantly and win a chip in the first 5 years, like, you're gonna develop some ease. And like, it's not even like too much of like. Like, if you wanted to jump ship on a team, or if you like didn't have a team that you wanted to support, like, there's no better way to like start with a franchise. Like, you could
also be established in 2012.
You could know their entire
19, whatever
career
it was.
history. Like, if someone's like, "How big of a fan are you?" and you can just go through like, "Oh, I've seen every single game they've ever played."
First goal scorer.
Yeah,
Lemieux.
when I was 2 years ago. But yeah, so the Vegas Knights are tied with the Minnesota Wild 1-1. Game 1 went to the Knights. Game 2 went to the Wild. So, I mean, 4-2 Knights won, 5-2 Minnesota Wild won. So both teams are kind of up and down, showing their stuff. I think the game 3 is going to be at Minnesota too. So good for Minnesota going in 1-1 away. But the big game I want to talk about, I think the biggest game of the playoffs so far was the Los Angeles Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. Game 1 ended in heartbreaking fashion. 6-5 was the score, and the Kings won. But believe the Kings were up 5-2.
I think it was 5 at least to 2.
5-2 or 5-1, and McDavid went on a monumental run, of which started off with, I think it was assist, and then took it himself and scored the game tying goal at 5-5. So it was 3 goals, 4 goals. Yeah, it was 5-1, Ryan.
Yeah,
The score was 5-1, and McDavid went assist.
No, so it was 5-2.
It was 5-2?
Yeah.
I guess when they did the highlight, the goal was in between. 5-2. Apologize. But, again, McDavid went on an insane run, tied it up 5-5, and then just to have the Kings score a late third period goal.
Less than a minute later.
Less than a minute later to end the game. And sucks because you have such a monumental moment for this young player that you have, and it gets ripped right underneath of him.
Especially after getting to the finals last year and losing in Game 7. just struggle. I mean, Connor McDavid, best player in the league right now. You know, he's obviously, I wouldn't say desperate for Stanley Cup, but it's going to come to a point where it's going to be like, hey, what's his legacy going to be if he can't win one?
I think he's still young enough that it's
No,
not
I know.
too bad. But
I'm saying it's going to get to a point.
yeah, that would.
It's also, I mean, Edmonton. I think all of Canada still wants a cup.
Yeah.
Toronto hasn't won since I think '67. So these Canadian teams got to step up.
They're rude for having two Canadian teams play against each other in the first round too. Ottawa and Toronto.
Battle of Ontario.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, that is my NHL breakdown for you.
Do you want to do the draft?
Yeah, let's do the draft.
All right. With my first pick, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes.
So bitch. Okay.
After watching what we watched, it's kind of hard not to.
All right, because they beat up on a beat-up Devils team.
Yeah, but I feel like I remember the Hurricanes being pretty good.
All right, I will take the Washington Capitals and the Winnipeg Jets.
Good. Didn't want the Caps. I don't like teams that win the President's Cup.
Okay.
I'll take the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'll take the Dallas Stars.
This is tough. I feel like Oilers are going to beat the Kings in this series, so I don't want to take them. Give me the Knights, and I'll take the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'll take the Oilers then. That's my last pick.
Okay.
To recap our NHL playoff draft, I have the Carolina Hurricanes, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Dallas Stars, and the Edmonton Oilers. I think I just started over the Edmonton, but oh well.
All right. My picks. I have the Washington Capitals, the Winnipeg Jets. I got the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and I ended it with the Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning?
Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's going to win it all?
Yeah.
We could have a team that's not even picked that wins it all. That would be a little embarrassing.
No, you picked the Stars. Who would be I guess the Panthers, Ottawa Senators. There's a couple that could win.
Canadians.
We don't want the Canadians.
NFL draft Thursday. Eagles still sit with one pick in the first round at 32. Got a whole breakdown from Adam Schefter. Did a great job, putting down all the picks every team has in what rounds.
I think the number 1 and 2 are pretty locked in, and then after that, it could be a little bit of a scramble.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously gonna be trades, but right now
I meant the actual players.
Oh, the Ravens and the Niners currently have 11 picks total with the most picks. You have the Dolphins, Jaguars, Browns, Chargers, Bills, Cowboys, Seahawks, all with 10 picks. Then you got a couple at 9 with the Saints, Raiders, Patriots, Panthers, Rams. Not the Rams, just stop at the Panthers with 9, and then I'll just stop at 8. So we have Rams, Chiefs, Packers, Titans, Jets, Giants, Eagles with 8 picks.
Okay.
Total. I know Eagles, we have 1 in each round. Up till round 4, we have 4 picks. And around 5, we have 5 picks, and we don't have any for the 6th, 7th. But yeah, I mean, I think the Saints might draft. I think they're the only team left that has never drafted a quarterback in the first round, so we might see them take one this year.
That's a little whack because they kind of got one with Drew Brees, didn't they?
Yeah, he was like
he was drafted by the Chargers.
Well, yeah, but he was also drafted in the second round.
Oh shit!
So there was another
really?
thing where there's usually not a quarterback drafted within the first 2 picks of the second round. The last one to have that happen was Drew Brees,
and he ended up being at the Saints.
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. I didn't know Drew Brees was a second-round pick.
Yeah, I think
undersized.
Yeah,
right?
but like I said, also it was it's the very beginning of the second round, so it's almost like
borderline one. I hear you.
We know the Titans are probably gonna take Cam Ward first overall. I think. Let me see. Fred, who's second?
Browns, I believe. Right?
Is it the Browns? The Brownies?
I think Browns are gonna get not Tavon.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, yeah.
But the third pick with the Giants is kind of where I'm confused. I feel like there's a good chance they're gonna
Think Sanders?
Either that or I think they might trade back. Yeah, it's Browns second, Giants 3, Patriots 4. So Patriots definitely don't need a QB. Then you have the Jaguars, they don't need a QB.
Patriots, I think, are going to get Abdul.
That's probably smart for them.
Yeah.
Either that or they kind of need offensive line. Some of these teams in the front need a lot of offensive linemen.
Well, I think all the teams in the front need a lot.
That's a good point. Yeah, they need a lot of things. That's a good point. Crazy seeing Dallas at 12. They just did that bad.
I know, it's so nice. Where do you think Gentie's going?
Oh, that's a good question.
A couple teams that would be, I think, serious contenders with a running back.
It would be kind of funny if the Giants take him.
I want him to go to Chicago, though. I do.
I do, but I'm saying it'd be funny for him to go to the Giants just because they let Saquon go and then they just draft.
It would be so funny if they took a third pick overall, and instead of dressing a quarterback, once again they think that a running back's gonna fix their problems. Oh, that would honestly, I think, would be one of my favorite draft moments of all time if the Giants don't fix their quarterback situation and then draft Genty.
I mean, the Patriots could use a running back. I don't think the Jags need one. The Raiders, I mean, they still have Aaron Jones, right?
I believe so.
So they don't. I don't think they need a running back. I mean, they could, but I think they probably need like a quarterback. Jets don't need one. Panthers need a lot, so I wouldn't go for running back. Yeah, I mean the Bears probably the most likely spot with
Bears
everything
would be
else
so
there.
Sick.
The Cowboys are probably hoping it falls to them.
I hope they
also
just get a
hope it
lineman
doesn't.
or something. Like, just get a lineman, try to fix your setup. I don't know.
I hope they go for quarterback. It'd be kind of funny.
They would be a funny one to
Jackson
get
Dart.
They would be a really funny one to go quarterback. I like. It's not a dumb move considering Dak has shown not to be able to do anything in the playoffs.
I think kind of like you said, like one of the questions is gonna be who's the second quarterback taken. Is Shador Sanders taken as second quarterback or like overall? I'm not saying second overall pick, but you know, second quarterback taken. Is it Jackson Dart? Is it maybe someone else?
Giants at 3. Patriots, I don't think are drafting a quarterback.
No, there's no way. Jacksonville isn't taking a quarterback.
No, Raiders might. I could see he could go to the Raiders.
Yeah, Jets probably are going to take a quarterback.
Panthers, no.
Saints, there's a good chance. I mean,
the Saints right now.
Pretty sure it's Derek Carr, but he's hurt all the time.
Oh, okay.
And he's also kind of.
There's a lot of like movement around this in that offseason. I'm kind of like, it's been a minute since we covered it, so I'm kind of scrambling on where.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, you don't really get a quarterback need until maybe the Seahawks, but they just got Darnold, so I don't know.
It's gonna be fun. Do you watch drafts often?
Yeah, I always watch the whole first round.
Yeah.
The whole first round, and then second round, I watch the whole thing. Kind of where the third round starts, where I end up. I mean, I usually always have it on, whether or not it's the only thing I'm watching or doing at the time.
So in the past, I've kind of learned this. Like any little thing I can do to get Holly more into football helps. Like if there's like a player that like is funny or something, that I'll constantly show her clips of them, so that like when we're watching football, if she like starts complaining or something, I'd be like, oh, there's like the guy you like. Remember him? Like you bet Laguerre or not Laguerre. What's the Panthers wide receiver? Xavier Legette. Xavier Legette is hilarious. I showed Holly all of his videos.
His accent is amazing.
Is so funny. So anytime like the Panthers, like if I'm doing red zone and like she's like not happy about me watching a game, or
you just
normally
put
she's
any
pretty
player
good.
on any team, like look, that's the guy you like.
Yeah, that every wide receiver is Xavier Legette.
She just doesn't pick
No,
up.
but so far it's worked with Jameis Winston and Xavier Legette.
Jameis Winston's a gift that God's given to us.
Yeah, they're two really funny people. But what I was getting at is,
oh yeah, the Giants don't need a quarterback. They got Jameis Winston
and
what
Russell, right? Yeah. So what I was trying to do with the draft is showing her the videos of these young kids getting drafted and like them tearing up and like the emotion that's delivered on draft night. I can get more players and more get her on board for the NFL, which she's converting slowly. But
I did see that she liked something on TikTok and reposted it that Howie Roseman just came out and said the Eagles are a no domestic violence team, which is good. You know, they said they won't draft a player that has had any domestic violence in their past, whether it be 10 years ago or whatever. They're just not going to have it, not for our team.
No.
So that's another go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds.
We're a team with high morality.
Go Birds, go women.
Yep. Moving on to our pop culture with The Last of Us Episode 2. This was a doozy. Joel's dead. Joel's dead.
Okay. Spoiler alert. Right.
I said we're moving on to Episode 2. I think.
Still, that was a crazy entrance to the breakdown.
What's the best? It's the biggest part of the episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I should have said spoiler thing before.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Joel's maybe not dead.
No.
Now spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
He's dead.
Yep. He's dead.
What an episode. We didn't get our. So a lot of you may not have seen our reaction to episode 1. It was not too positive.
Ellie was being a bitch.
Ellie absolutely sucks.
A little bit of a C word, I might say.
I almost said it, right? I almost said it. I might have said it yesterday or last week.
I might have said it off the podcast, but
I think I said it on the podcast last week. Go back and we'll listen to the audio.
Her character was better this episode. She was still being a little bitchy, but it seems like she kind of understands that she's just a teenager, and and she's like, no, I'm gonna go with Joel on the patrol.
Which
the Paw Patrol.
A part of me wasn't a big fan of that. She was like, no. So that's what she was saying to what's the dude's name? Jesse, right? But I liked how he was like, well, did you like apologize? Like, did you talk to him about it? And she was like, drop it, leave it alone. So clearly she didn't ever like acknowledge it. Again, what leads me to why I'm so happy. Not
that
happy that
dead?
Joel died, but I'm happy the way this game told the story and that I'm getting this story for the first time on television on Max. Is what better way to punish a stuck-up little bitch daughter than to kill the dad and make her feel like absolute dog shit? Like, this is like what a saving grace, because like I was so hating Ellie, and then it's like that dude that loves you to death and has been taking care of you, and you've been an absolute
Murdered for you. Murdered
bitch
18
to,
people.
I'm gonna make you watch him get stabbed in the neck. Like,
Yeah, that was kind of brutal. They waited until she got there.
it was.
I also I fully expected her to walk in there with a gun and start killing people. Didn't expect her to fail right away.
Dude, first, as soon as she walked in the door, the guy was like, just body checked her to the
Yeah.
ground and disarmed her.
I was expecting like a Call of Duty esque campaign where she's like outside in the snow sniping. Because I thought she had a rifle. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They were by like a mine, and they find Abby. Abby just stumbles down, wakes up all the infected, which was, I mean, good job, Abby.
Well,
Idiot.
did you, when we were watching this, it made me laugh at how I completely went right over her head. But they discussed exactly what happened to Abby.
Oh yeah.
That it was like, that's what was
That
happening.
those zombies like hiding under the bodies,
Yeah, and they're
insulating
using
themselves.
them as like insulation to
Yeah.
keep warm. That like went right over Holly's head. So like when they landed, or when he landed in like the body field, or she did, when Abby landed in like the body field, I was like, oh fuck. And she's like, what? They're dead. I'm like, you haven't been paying attention, Holly. Like, there's a bunch of them underneath there right now. And then the ground starts shifting and they all start coming out. She's like, oh my god, oh my god.
And I think we've seen even before, even if they're dead, if you walk around them, they still have like the fungus kind of like the branches or whatever all around where like if you touch a dead one, it's still going to wake up the other ones. So like that doesn't necessarily really matter.
I think the fungus has to be alive. So I think
yeah, but the fungus itself can kind of like, grow around the body. Like I'm not saying like the like
you don't think that if
because you remember
someone
like,
infected with the fungus, if they die,
no, I'm saying a fungus from another like like how the fungus was in the pipes.
Yes,
like
I
that
agree.
fungus might have grown around the bodies at some point or whatever.
Right, I understand. But the fungus on a dead body,
no, it's probably
will not
it's
be
dead.
active.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying But yeah, that like you said, that was pointed out, and then she got in the mine, closed the door, and then for some reason she goes, I see, like that, I don't, the wire fence. That's going to be safe. Why in the world did you, like, I knew immediately that fence was going down.
Yeah.
Why did you go against that, that narrow alleyway when you probably could have walked around the building the other side? I don't know what the point of that was. She should have died there. She got saved by Joel and then proceeds to kill him.
I also found it kind of funny, too, that, like, she ran up to a wall that looked so, like, strong, like a barricade.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
But, like, no, I'm more laughing at the fact that the structure of this town has one wall that is, like, one ladder that you gotta jump off, and it's like a very strong stone wall, and then like 10 feet over is just a minor chain link fence. Like, who the hell? Like, that wall is not doing anything when you have a chain linked fence right next to it.
Well, I think the idea of it is like it was like the gate for like cars that come in. So like, all right, if you're coming from the road, we have to block that one pretty hard because it's cars.
I truly.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Like, what's the point of putting the money towards like making a really strong wall if you're not going to do it around the whole town?
Well, it's not a town. I think it was just a mine.
Was it just a mine?
I think that was just a mine because they said the copper mine. I don't know if that was just the route they were going, or I'm assuming that was where they were.
But to add on to you, that scene was incredible when she's crawling through the chain link fence, just like
should have gotten bit. I was
on
hoping for her to get bit, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of hard to get your full mouth through a chain.
Well, they were ripping their hands to get through.
They were ripping their hands
that
through,
was pretty
but
cool.
like that was a great scene. The hand just getting split through, and then somehow the one lady just got her whole body through. Like a hole just appeared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they ripped like the bottom of it off, so there's probably a hole one underneath. That was my guess.
I'd say it looked like she went through the fence.
Yeah, no, I'm not really looking into that.
But like the bottom of the fence starts coming out, the fence gets tighter and tighter on her as the more bodies start piling on her, and it looks awesome.
Which also, like when that started, you could have just turned around and went back instead of crawling through 20 feet of.
It's hard to crawl backwards.
She could have just turned around. She was at that point where it was not that difficult.
I thought she like had already gone a few steps into the chain link when they all started. I guess you're right.
Yeah, like 4 steps.
When they all punched in, she could start running the long way. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Listen, Brian, we never know how we react in those moments until they come.
Good point.
Like, would I know if a bunch of mushroom zombies started pushing a fence into my face to run the shorter direction?
I mean, I already know I'm going to an island, so I'll be fine.
True.
Never seen a zombie swim. That's for damn sure.
Do they ever address that in zombie or any movies like that?
I've never seen it. I need someone to answer the question. Go to an island. Not Jeffrey Epstein's island, but a different island.
I mean, you would be more safe at Jeffrey Epstein's island. We're not doing politics,
Yep,
right? We're not doing politics. Right? Holly, cut that out. Cut that out, Holly. So the chain link, one breaks through, is crawling after her, and it tackles her to the ground, and it's about to bite her when Joel comes in with the
a little magnum.
Magnum, blows its brains out, and then...
Great job saving them. And then, they just went nuts. And they're debating on, Dina's going, Joel, Joel, Joel. So then this way Abby's like, oh, this is the person I hate. But she had lost her gun while falling down the hill.
Do you think she would have killed him right then?
No.
I don't think it can.
Because I think
he couldn't take his horses.
I think the whole thing was she wanted to kill him slowly as well. I think she wanted that torture part.
She wanted to do the torturing.
She wanted the confirmation from him that,
And genius by her being like, come to my loft. But like didn't lie either. Like, oh, they're heavily weaponed. And he was like, good, we're gonna need them.
Yeah, but she said they will help you. So she did lie.
Yeah, you're right. She didn't tell all the truth that they were planning to kill him.
It does suck because like it seemed like that day, like her boyfriend or whatever. It seems like the guy's boyfriend. He was gonna try and talk her out of the whole thing because looking at Jackson Hole, they're like, "This is huge. We're gonna die.
Yeah,
this isn't gonna work.
Yeah,
this is a town with power lines, not just generators. This is not gonna be fun."
He had that conversation with one of the guys, like, because he said something about having a plan.
Yeah,
and then he was like, "Do you even have a plan?" He goes, "My plan is to try and convince her to leave because if we go to war with them, we're the only ones dying."
Yeah,
which good on you for knowing that, and unfortunate for us that they just stumbled on like giving Joel and Dina the only safe spot.
It was also like after last episode, I assumed this was going to be like a multi-day thing. I did not think we were going to get a next episode. They meet up. I thought like the look of that, I was like a horse cannot travel that far in 3 hours.
Yeah,
that was to me kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, they're doing a sweep of like. They're scouting, so I guess the point is to try to cover as much ground.
No, I know. I just didn't really think they would go that far. I didn't think a horse really make it that far in that short of time. Because to me, it looks like it's 30, 40 miles away.
Also, what an incorrect statement of like you're sending the scouts out when Ellie and Jesse go out. They're like, "Are we concerned about that at all?" It's like, psh, that won't make it past the mountains.
Oh yeah, that was
it made it hella past the mountains. It fucking was ravaging. Like that was one of the worst blizzards that you can possibly have.
And like that scouting thing, I know like they're worried about like the infected and stuff like that coming. That did nothing to help them with the infected that came. So it was almost kind of pointless.
Yeah,
I get they have to do patrols every now and then, but like they don't have a weather. You don't have Glenn Hurricane Schwartz doing the weather, but Jesse's clearly not a good meteorologist.
It would have been effective if it wasn't blizzarding out like that, and if their scout got cut short, none of them could report back. And the radios went silent.
But it almost might not have helped because there's a chance that they could have, done what Abby did and stumbled across those bodies, woke them up, and then just took them to the base.
Which is what ended up happening. It happened because of the pipe anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair.
Like they were almost doing the best scouting by trying to take him away from the base,
which it didn't. Because I guess it could tell that there was more bodies the other place, which I don't really know how that would.
Also, great timing by that dude in Jackson, like. A whole horde is chasing after people the opposite direction of town, and that's when you pull apart the weeds in the thing, and they start tangling. You
didn't know that.
You're right, he didn't know it, but I'm just saying his timing was impeccable. That little yank of the weeds turned an entire horde around.
I feel like next time we need to light those weeds on fire. It might just be a better way to do it. I don't know. I mean, it still might alert them, but...
Yeah, but I think, I know there's not... Like, that could have been an oil pipe, so it's like, do you go about letting... grass and an oil pipe.
This is good point.
That could lead to some trouble.
Is.
But overall, episode 2 was phenomenal. We didn't even address the whole actual horde attacking Jackson and
they got destroyed.
They did. They got absolutely massacred. And what the fact that in this episode we did lose Joel, but at one point literally everyone we could have known could have died. And it was looking to be that route that everyone was going to die.
At one point I fully expected it to be like the whole Jackson Hole is dead, and it ends up just being Dina, Joel, Ellie, and Jesse just becoming a group of 4, just going out and trying to find something new. I was like, Jackson Hole's done.
Yeah,
they're going to now be a group of 4 that have to travel. The show wouldn't be as fun if they just sat somewhere comfortably for half a season.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, do you think? I think Ellie goes back to the town after this.
Yeah, I think they go back at least in the beginning, but I think she's going to disappear and go to Washington. And try and find them.
Or Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle. Well, Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, but they don't say don't go to Washington. They say don't go to Seattle.
Yeah, but fair. But we're going to get a vengeance where Ellie's going out there and she maybe at some point finds out why they came and killed Joel, because they didn't really say that. One problem I had, they took 4 horses to that ranch, only left with 2. So you lost Joel and you lost 2 horses. Don't know why they couldn't just taken the horses with them, but...
Yeah, I guess you're right. You get all 4 of their horses. Yeah.
And Dina and Ellie Ellie shares a horse with someone,
Jesse.
And then they drag Joel's body back. Didn't bring the other 2 horses, and I know that the other group didn't take them because we see them walking away with no horses.
Mm-hmm. They just left them out in the storm?
Yep. And I mean, it seems like something. Oh, also during the attack, I love the part where they let the dogs out.
Yeah.
I think her name's Marie.
Who?
Yeah,
You know
Marie let the dogs out.
She did, and I didn't expect the dogs to be that effective. Honestly,
they were destroying the infected.
They were insanely effective at killing infected.
I was waiting. Half the time, I was waiting for people to shoot the wrong person because, they're in the middle of Main Street and you have people on the wall shooting back at them. I was like, I don't know how they're not hitting humans. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem safe. You're supposed to, crossfire down that. You're not supposed to go.
Yeah. I'm also curious. How did just the training process of training dogs to spot out infected?
Probably smell.
Yeah, but again, how do you train them to attack on command this certain type of person?
Well, just to smell. You probably get them to smell the fungus,
and then smack them, and they're like, "This, you don't want this stuff." Like, how do you train someone to attack like that? It's a long question, I guess. But it just blows my mind whenever that happens. Like, they let the dogs out, and the dogs are just like beeline to who they need to go to. But I agree, that was an awesome scene. The scene with the hell's Joel's brother's name? Tommy.
I want to say Tommy.
Tommy against the big dude.
Guy,
yeah, the blood whatever they call that one. But with the flamethrower, and as soon as it ran out, he was getting closer and closer. Then he just keeled over, burnt. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was getting a little upset during that. I mean, I'm glad he made it out. I was getting a little upset. I was like, feel like you could just kind of do a little, jab step and then get around them and go to the other side. So I was like, you're clearly stuck in. Just do a little jab step and go around them. Or so at least this way you have an escape route.
He's clearly getting affected by the fire. Blow the fire in his face and then quickly try to swerve by. I agree. I was thinking the same exact thing.
Just go to a corner for no reason.
And he sat down in the corner too. He just full sitting down was crazy.
Could have tried to climb something. There's other, I don't know. But
again, right, we've never been in that situation. How do we know how we would react when our flamethrower runs out of propane and we're looking at a 7-foot bludgeoning mushroom monster ahead of us?
I'd probably first of all throw it at him.
I don't think you should go around throwing propane tanks, even if they are partially empty. But
because they're gonna blow up in the fucking zombie's face
and 2 feet away from you.
If you're gonna die anyway, might as well die out guns blazing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying I'm gonna die. I think I would do a little shimmy, break his ankles. His ankles are burnt. Might as well break them.
So I think we're gonna move into an Ellie vengeance tour.
Yeah, I agree. I think the show going forward, I think will be maybe Ellie and Dina. Yeah. I don't know if Jesse's gonna be in it too, but kind of just them going off trying to find this group.
Yep. All right. Move on to our draft of the week as we do draft of bucket list events to attend. I'm assuming we're just doing sporting events, right? Or do you want to do pop culture?
Oh no, I'm doing more than just sporting events.
All right. I do get the first overall pick. I think my first overall pick is going to be the Masters.
That is a great pick, Ryan. With the number 2 pick, I think you were kind of dogging on it when we talked about it, but I will be taking the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, if my team's in it, yes, but at the same time, I prefer to be around everyone that enjoys the team I like to watch.
I think it's a monumental moment to witness, especially your team being in it. But my team, the Eagles, in the Super Bowl, in probably an awesome city too. That's an incredible vacation.
Yeah, but
and my number 2, Ryan, going off of sports here, Germany Oktoberfest.
That's a good one.
That's right. What do you got?
Give me a World Cup final.
Ooh, World Cup final. Okay.
Give me NHL Game 7 Stanley Cup final.
I'll be taking. I don't want to give it a specific show, but a show in the Vegas sphere.
Oh, that's a good one.
I really want to see. You took all the major sports for the. No, World Series Game 7 in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know if you can't just say. I guess that's fair.
World Series Game 7. We're talking about our teams being in it.
Yeah, that's fair. My last one, what will I go with? I forgot Ryder Cup.
Really leaning to the golf here, huh?
Yeah, Ryder Cup is sick. I mean, it's your.
I think the U.S. Open would be a fun one.
No, the Ryder Cup's the only time there's actually teams involved. So
yeah,
it's just U.S.
That's not true, Ryan. There's a team league now.
It's fake. Live golf is gross. But the Ryder Cup actually seems crazy, especially depending on what if it's in the U.S. or if it's over in Europe, fans really get involved where they start just chanting and yelling at people. The guys really get into it. So yeah, Ryder Cup.
All right, when we do this breakdown, are we saying Eagles Super Bowl?
I was not gonna say it because
But what's your one is an NHL Game 7?
Yeah.
You just NHL Game 7?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that too. All right.
Recapping our bucket list events to attend, I have the Masters, World Cup final, NHL Stanley Cup final, Game 7, and the Ryder Cup.
I have a NFL Super Bowl. I want Oktoberfest in Germany. Be awesome. I have a show in the Las Vegas Sphere and a World Series Game 7. Yeah,
I think the World Series Game 7 was the one I missed. I knew I wanted to.
I think you missed. I think my two non-sports ones are gonna really carry me here.
See, I mean, I think the World Cup final is better than the Oktoberfest.
I don't know. I think I would have more fun at Oktoberfest. Like you're talking about, like not demanding that the USA's in it.
Yeah, it's.
I'd rather
we're
be.
not going to be.
I would rather be in Germany during Oktoberfest than watch Spain, Argentina's World Cup.
I guess that's fair, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like that, like, I don't know.
I really agree. Like two teams, like the reason I like Super Bowl is like NFL. We know all the teams. Obviously, the World Cup holds a lot of weight, but like the only reason I'd really would have it on a bucket list is like the USA one would be incredible. Like that'd be like the first time ever.
I just think the event itself is one of it's a rowdy event. It's a it's the whole thing.
I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just saying, I think you would have a more fun time at Oktoberfest. We didn't say it had to be one day, did we?
I mean, I didn't. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, but I guess before we go, I forgot to do this ad. The ad for Light Strike. Before we finish today's episode, we've got to tell you about something we've been loving lately, Light Strike Hard Refresher. If you're looking for a drink that's crisp, smooth, and actually refreshing, this is it. It's 5% malt alcohol, made with 10% coconut water and a hint of sea salt. So it's light, clean, and easy to drink, plus it's gluten-free and non-carbonated. Meaning no bloat, no fizz, just pure laid-back sipping. Just chill. Whether you're chilling by the beach, kicking back after work, or just need a break from the usual seltzers, Light Strike is the move. Seriously, try it out and tell us what you think. They currently have lemon lime and
orange mango.
Lemon lime is both of our favorites, so I would say try that one first. Yeah, I mean, 170 calories, not too bad for 16.9 float ounces.
Yeah, like I said, my favorite thing about it is you don't get the bloatedness of beer and you don't get the carbonated feeling you get from seltzers. So it's like a nice, calm, settling drink with a good alcohol percentage and feeling like it's like, yeah, like I said, coconut water. It's got all solid ingredients that you're not going to get from many alcohols. So you're going to be feeling better the next day after drinking some of these.
Definitely good for like a day-long party or whatever where you I mean, you can kind of throw this in between other drinks, give you some of that coconut water, kind of, ease your stomach a little bit more.
Yeah, instead of like breaking up your alcoholic beverages with water, break it up with Light Strike.
Yeah, I didn't mean you can't mix some water in there. I'm just saying, it might be easier to drink these than,
You never need water ever again. Light Strike.
I'm just saying it might be a little bit easier than 10 Miller Lights, but I guess those are also like 95% water.
Yeah, that's true too. But I still feel like I get super bloated with beer.
Oh, well, yeah.
Just I'm burping and farting. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share.
Vote.
We'll give you a pin.
Vote on our drafts, not on politics, because we're not allowed to talk about those anymore.
Way to clean up the ending, right?
Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.